Hello students, welcome back. Might you all are doing well. As till date we have done with two main chapters like plant growth and secondly strategies for enhancement in food production. Now third chapter in which we are going on is the microbes in human welfare. Until now we have discussed household use of microorganisms and industrial use of microorganisms in various aspects. Keep it in mind, this chapter is not that much scoring chapter for NEET or AIMS, but whatever questions are going to be asked, definitely they are example based questions. So in this chapter you have to make sure there is a list of examples, that is names of the bacteria and their usage. So according to the sections like household microorganisms and their usage, industrial microorganisms and their usage, sewage treatment microorganisms and their usage, you have to make tabular formats of microorganisms with their common name and scientific name if common name is available, otherwise scientific name and their particular use, because most of the questions are jumbled in that way where multiple uses are mixed together and you are getting confused with the one or two microorganisms name. So to practice that or to deal with this chapter, this is the only way to score more. Either one or two questions may be asked for this chapter, but definitely for scoring that 8 marks you need to be very precise about making your own tips or own tricks which are important to remember the names of microorganisms and their usage. Now the next point in this chapter is microbes in a sewage treatment. Sewage treatment is nothing but whatever sewage, the sewer system which is gained from the cities or villages. So that sewer system consists of multiple type of waste. So treatment is important. Now before going to that, we should know that whatever sewage is available, that may be divided into two formats. One is a biodegradable waste and second is a non-biodegradable waste. And that treatment with microbe is definitely possible with the biodegradable waste. So we are talking about biodegradable waste treatment or biodegradable sewage treatment. The municipal wastewater including human excreta is also called sewage. It contains large amount of organic matter and microbes, many of which are pathogenic. Sewage cannot be discharged into natural water bodies like rivers and streams. Directly before disposal, sewage is treated in a sewage treatment plant which are known as STPs to make it less polluting. Because from every house, from every industry, from every workplace, sewage is gained. So that sewage contains multiple pollutants and if it is combined together, definitely it will create more pollution in the environment. So to reduce that, it should be first treated, and that plant which is treating with the sewage is known as sewage treatment plant. Treatment of wastewater is done by heterotrophic microbes naturally present in the sewage. This treatment is carried out in two stages. So microorganisms are not inoculated or not added in the sewage. Microorganisms are already available in the sewage which make it degradable or which make it convert into some other useful product or reduce the level of pollution, and it is carried out in two different steps. First is a primary treatment and second one is a secondary treatment. So first here we are going to discuss primary treatment. Steps of this treatment basically involve physical removal of particles large and small from sewage through filtration and sedimentation. Now we might know the Ganga Action Plan. Ganga Action Plan is nothing but the cleaning of river Ganges, where first step was isolating or taking out all the floating material which was easy to pick. So that was just a separation method. Here primary treatment also involved the first step, which is separation of large and small molecules by various methods. Now large molecules can be easily picked up or filtered out, or they are separated from each other, but small molecules need to be separated with the help of sedimentation or centrifugation process. These are removed in stages. Initially, floating debris is removed by sequential filtration. Floating debris is nothing but the floating material. It may be a plastic or lightweight material. Then the grit, soil and small pebbles are removed by sedimentation. All solids that settle from primary sludge and the supernatant from the effluent from the primary settling tank is taken for secondary treatment. So there is a one particular tank which is dealing with the separation of small and large particles. Once large particles are removed, small particles are further separated according to their weight or density by sedimentation, and whatever two portions are available after sedimentation, we know centrifugation or sedimentation process results in the formation of one dark pellet at the bottom and liquid supernatant at the surface. So here also after sedimentation, the dark pellet which is available at the bottom is separated and moved forward for secondary treatment, and supernatant is removed and given out, and then after it starts with the secondary treatment. Secondary treatment or biological treatment. This is the treatment where actually microorganisms are working on that pellet part. The primary effluent is passed into large aeration tanks where it is constantly agitated mechanically and air is pumped into it. This allows vigorous growth of useful aerobic microbes into flocs. Flocs are nothing but the masses of bacteria associated with fungal filaments to form mesh-like structure. While growing, these microbes consume the major part of organic matter in the effluent. This significantly reduces the BOD. BOD is a biochemical oxygen demand. This biochemical oxygen demand is nothing but the liquid oxygen or dissolved oxygen present in the water, which is used by different type of microorganism for their aerobic respiration process, which is known as a BOD. BOD refers to amount of the oxygen that would be consumed if all the organic matter in 1 liter of water were oxidized by bacteria. Nothing but oxygen requirement for aerobic respiration, conversion of whatever energy source is available, that too into ATP. The BOD, the sewage water is treated with till the BOD is reduced. Sewage water is treated till the BOD is reduced means whatever sewage water which is having a particular type of nutrients or material available, that material is utilized by bacteria and that is degraded aerobically in presence of oxygen, and once it is removed, or we can say the levels of BOD are reducing, that means maximum amount is getting converted into unuseful or polluted to useful format. The BOD test measures the rate of uptake of oxygen by microorganism in a sample of water, and thus indirectly BOD is a measure of organic matter present in the water. So there are some specific tests which ensures level of BOD directly signifies amount of organic matter that may be utilized by bacteria to convert into useful format. So if BOD is higher, organic matter is higher. If BOD is lower, organic matter is lower, and that BOD is a sign which is a component used by bacteria for conversion of that organic matter into useful components. The greater the BOD of wastewater, more is its polluting potential. Once the BOD of sewage or wastewater is reduced significantly, the effluent is then passed into settling tank where the bacterial flocs are allowed to sediment. The sediment is called activated sludge. Now after the treatment of a BOD, if higher is the BOD, there is a high polluted material. If lower is the BOD, low polluted material. And after the measurement of this BOD particularly, the effluent is then settled or it is passed to a settling tank. Settling tank means once again where the surface layer or supernatant and pellets are separated from each other, and what after settling, the bacteria which are available in that, bacterial flocs which are available in that, they are allowed to sediment. This sediment is not now known as activated sludge. So this activated sludge has the highest amount of bacterial flocs in that and converted material. A small part of activated sludge is pumped back in the aeration tank to serve as an inoculum. In last video we discussed about inoculum. Inoculum is a primary or initiating amount of bacterial material that is inoculated or added into the nutrient media. Then they utilize nutrient and get multiplied rapidly. So after activated sludge is nothing but the converted material with the presence of bacteria. Some amount of that activated sludge is taken back and once again reprecipitated to the previous tank, in what, so that whatever leftover is available in that may be treated once again. So it is acting as an inoculum. The remaining major part of the sludge is pumped into large tanks called anaerobic sludge digester. Till now it was aerobic respiration. Now second part is a anaerobic respiration, which is also known as a anaerobic sludge digesters. Here other kind of bacteria which grow anaerobically digest the bacteria and the fungi in the sludge. During the digestion, bacteria produce a mixture of gases such as methane, hydrogen sulfide, carbon dioxide, etc. These gases form biogas and can be used as a source of energy as it is inflammable. So this is the things which we have discussed till now. It's simply a setup of a biogas plant. So after anaerobic treatment on the activated sludge. Whatever leftover is available and bacteria and fungi are available, they are digested, and there is a release of multiple type of gases like methane, hydrogen sulfide, carbon dioxide, which are flammable gases. So in that case it can be used as a energy sources. So this is a primary and secondary treatment for sewage with the usage of a microorganism. Here are some microbial enzymes and their applications, which we have already discussed, but still it is in the chart format. So first one is the enzyme amylase. Sources are fungi, bacteria, fungi and bacteria. Fungi like application in a bread and industries of baking. Bacteria stretch coating in paper. Fungi digestive aid, pharmaceutical. Bacteria removal of stains, detergents, laundry. Protease from fungi application bread, once again industry baking. Bacteria spot removal, dry cleaning. Bacteria meat tenderizing, meat industry. Bacteria wound cleaning, medicine. Bacteria designing, textile. Invertase from yeast, soft center candies and industry is a candy industry. Glucose oxidase from fungi, application glucose removal, oxygen removal, test paper for diabetes, pharmaceutical. Glucose isomerase, bacteria, high fructose corn syrup and soft drink. Pectinase from fungi, pressing and clarification in making wine and fruit juices. Rennin from fungi, coagulation of milk in cheese industry. Cellulase from bacteria, fabric softening, brightening detergent and application in a laundry. Lipase fungi, breakdown of fats, dairy and laundry. Lactase from fungi, breakdown lactose to glucose and galactose, dairy and health foods. DNA polymerase, bacteria, DNA replication in polymerase chain reaction technique, biological research and forensics. So these are the overall names of enzymes isolated from different type of bacteria and their applications, which we have discussed earlier. So this is a microbes in a sewage treatment plant. Now next concept is microbes in a energy generation. Energy generation, already I discussed it as a biogas. So one more step toward it is a energy generation usage of microbes. Biogas is a mixture of gases containing predominantly methane, highest amount of methane, produced by microbial activity. Certain methanogenic bacteria, that is methanobacterium, which grow anaerobically on cellulosic material, produce a large amount of methane along with CO2 and hydrogen gas. The methanogenic bacteria are commonly found in anaerobic sludge during sewage treatment. So anaerobic sludge means activated sludge, which is treated afterward anaerobically. These methanogenic bacteria are also present in the rumen. Rumen is a chamber of a stomach of cattle. So that is where bacteria are present and they are helping in the fermentation process in a cattle digestion. A lot of cellulosic material present in the food of cattle is also present in the rumen. In rumen, these bacteria help in the breakdown of cellulose and play important role in the nutrition of the cattle. The excreta of a cattle, commonly called gobar, is rich in methanogenic bacteria. So as bacteria are present in the rumen, they are definitely, some of them are passing through the digestive tract and they are excreted out. So this gobar is rich in a methane or methanogenic bacteria. Dung can be used for generation of biogas, commonly called as gobar gas plant or also known as a biogas plant. So this is how it is a setup where all the excreta of the animals along with the leftovers of the kitchen or vegetables or dry waste from the house, they are collected together and they are pushed in a tank which is anaerobically set up, and there is a action of a methanogenic bacteria on all that material. Some water is added from this dung water canal, and after water and this particular components which are available in presence of methanogenic bacteria, there is a digestion process, and after digestion there is a removal of a gas. So there is an outlet chamber which is giving out gas. So this is nothing but the gas holder and sludge maker. This is a setup of a biogas plant or also known as a gobar gas plant. A biogas plant consists of a concrete tank. This is a tank which is 10 to 15 feet deep in the soil, in which biowaste are collected and slurry of dung is fed. A floating cover is placed over the slurry, which keeps on rising as the gas is produced in the tank due to the microbial activity. The biogas plant has an outlet which is connected to a pipe to supply biogas to nearby houses. The spent slurry is removed through the another outlet, may be used as a fertilizer. Cattle dung is available in large quantity in rural areas where cattle are used for variety purposes. So biogas plants are more often built in rural areas. The biogas produced is used for cooking and lighting, The technology of biogas production was developed in India mainly due to the efforts of Indian Agriculture Research Institute IARI and Khadi and Village Industries Commission KVIC. So these are the primary sources from where biogas plants were developed, and this is one of the usable technique for removal of the dung available in the sources and utilizing that dung for making two purposes. First one for the biogas production, and second one whatever leftover slurry is available, that is used as a fertilizer in a soil so that soil quality is improved. So this is nothing but the microbes in a energy generation. So microbes are acting, and specifically in this energy generation process, methanobacterium is an important component or an important microbiome for energy generation process. So whether it is a sewage treatment, whether it is a energy generation process, everywhere microbes are playing important role for human welfare. Now the last part is remaining for this chapter, which is a microbes as a biocontrol agents and microbes as a biofertilizer, which we are going to discuss in the next lecture. Thank you.